Hey you, I'm the Queen of Shade. Welcome to the interview. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit my Cash App to support your favorite content creator. Now let's get to the interview. Mwah.
Let me tell you something. You're a bougie bitch and your mama is too. Said you're a bougie bitch and your mama is too. You're a bougie bitch and your mama is too. Said you're a bougie bitch and your mama is too.
Salutations, you foes. This is your fabulous leader, the Queen of Shade, coming to you with another special presentation, moving full speed ahead, getting to know some amazing people, some inspiring people, people from all over the world. It has been quite the experience. And having said that, I have someone closer to home that you need to meet right now. This young man is a filmmaker, a writer first, filmmaker and creative. And I've known him for years, and we loomed around, and now we're reconnecting, and it's really great. We're going to catch up with each other and see what's new in each other's lives. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce Trav, the Wordsmith. Okay, now you can freak out.
lovely introduction.
Thank you. How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. Look at you. It's been years. It's been years.
It's been, when was the year?
2008.
2008, 9, one of them.
It was 2008 when we first came across each other on YouTube.
Thinking, like, who is this person? He's gorgeous, bald, he's smile. I'm like, who is this? So I got to know who you were, and it was a pleasure.
Yeah, I thank you. Oh my God. First of all, thank you for doing this, because you booked and busy down there, always writing and filming and
trying my best.
You look great. You look great.
Thank you.
You look amazing, actually. I said, look at this laying up in the lap of luxury.
I appreciate it. I had to get comfortable because this is more like a conversation for me.
It is.
Because we haven't really spoken in a long time.
It's been
like, well, I haven't met the Queen of Shade.
Yeah, you're right. I got quiet because I had to process that. A lot of people haven't met the Queen. A lot of people haven't met the Queen, and it's like, she became this thing, and now she's this like internet phenom, and it's like, and it was so crazy how we reconnected, because as my work funneled out into the world across the internet, it was like one day you followed me, and I'm like, I know exactly who that is. Because I was gonna say, you
know exactly where I was.
Yeah, you kept the same name all those years.
Yeah, like nothing's changed. I'm just maintaining and building. There's nothing for me to change. This is just who I have been since 2008 when we met.
Yeah.
Growth and maintenance.
Yeah. I'm so this is full circle for me, because you're right. You have just been, you were one of those people that I looked to even online, because I was back then, I was singing covers under the name of More Muse. Yeah, singing covers, and I was going through a difficult time in my life, but you were one of those people that I looked to, because you always had something positive to say. You were always sharing your truth. You were always open. And long before I knew that I would be a truth teller like that, literally long before I knew that would be what I would come to do as well, tell people my story and where I've been and things like that, you were doing it. So this is kind of like paying homage, because you were long before influencing was a thing. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Long before influencing was a thing and social media content creating was a thing, this is what you were doing.
This is way before Twitter, way before Instagram. Yep. All we had was YouTube. That was it.
That was it, because Facebook wasn't even started yet.
No, and I just got on that. I don't really mess with Facebook like that, because they can be a little, But all we had was YouTube, and I was like, what is this? People are actually filming themselves. I had just cut my hair, like grew my hair. I had a little afro.
Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna document like my lock journey. That's all I wanted to do on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I did my first video and I didn't expect anybody to watch it. So like the next day I got up, it was like 1,000 views, and I'm just like, I felt so exposed because I'm like, video, like I had no clue who was watching. I was thinking about who was watching it. I was like, this is the most weird feeling.
Yeah.
So then the more I recorded about my hair, people asked me to do other things. It was like, what do you think about this? So what's your take on this? And I was just telling it like I saw it.
Yeah.
And people actually subscribed to my channel, and I actually had a following, actually wanted to hear what I had to say. And that was very new for me because I don't bother nobody. I just mind my business. So this kind of opened me up to the world, basically. And I met people like you.
And you know what's so crazy? Back then, there were so many people that were, you know, in that sphere. We watched, that have just, like, all of us have gone on, you included, and everybody. We have just gone on to be, I like to say, we're still here.
We are. I was talking to a friend of mine about this. We talk about it all the time. We used to do YouTube. And he was like, what if I went back to YouTube? It just wouldn't be the same. And I said, it probably wouldn't be the same because that was a moment in time.
Yeah.
Our type of YouTube isn't as popular anymore.
Yeah.
It's all about commercialism and all be trying to sell something, which is fine, but there's no space for us who just wanted to just see and create and talk and commune with people, build a community. That's long gone, but we are still here. I'm still here. I'm doing everything that I set out to do back in 2008. I'm doing, and I'm happy about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
You know, you're absolutely right. In this space, you know, I see a lot of content creators, especially on YouTube, they're getting brand deals and they are selling product. That's what they're doing. And I want to shed light on that because even with what we do, we're selling product as well. It's called intellectual entertainment. You know,
right.
It took me a while to even realize that that was what it was called. But, you know, that is what we do. It's intellectual entertainment. So it's for the mind. It's for, you know, to enlighten yourself. It's self-help. It's betterment, you know, like, so that was how I was able to kind of find my niche as well. And you're right, my channel has only been up since, because I deleted the old channel. So my new channel has only been up since November. And, you know, it's so crazy because I read the comments under the videos and people will say, and you can tell that there are people that, you know, are kind of like analyzing the internet, looking for the next big thing and things like that. And they'll say to me, like, you've got a corner on the market because nobody's doing this anymore. Nobody's doing this. And my thing is, I keep doing it. You know, it was a push for a while for YouTubers to make longer videos. Well, on this channel, every video is an hour long. Like, and, you know, and I did that being me. Their conversations, I started, you know, I tell everybody, oh, I'd love to interview you. But then I tell everybody in the messages, okay, listen, we're not doing no interview. I'm not Diane Sawyer. I'm not going to sit here on one side and fire questions at you. We're going to talk. There's going to be a synergy that happens. And the crazy thing about that is that's what's causing it to expand, is because so many people say there's a synergy between you and yes. You know, it's not just one-sided. We're not just learning about them. We're learning about you both. And that I've never been afraid to forge my own path. Never been afraid to be the first. Never been.
And I knew that about you even then. I'm like, okay, they don't give a damn. They're gonna do what they want. They're going to sing. They're gonna sing high, and it's just gonna be what it is until the next thing comes along. That's just what a more muse is gonna do, honey. She gonna sing.
I'm still singing high.
To the 80s is my favorite song by the way.
Oh,
I listen to it all the time. I tell my like, they'll get in my car and I'll play it. It's like, who is this? They always think you're a woman.
Of course. Of course. I'm a
My girl,
soprano. Yeah, I'm a mezzo soprano.
my girl, the Queen of Shade. I was like, well, what is she? And I'm like, here, look. And they
Exactly.
so I live for your voice. Like you really give me like when that back to that. What is that song? Where did that come from? Who's it about?
I'm so glad you asked because I was getting ready to offer it, but I was hoping you asked so that it would just go. You know what's so crazy? I'm gonna give you the real answer. The song Back to the 80s is about my mother. It's about my mother before she started her drug addiction.
Mm-hmm.
It's about my mother before I lost her for 25 years of my life, and she never came back. My father wasn't in the picture. He was 28, she was 17 when they had me, which is their crime. I'm not gonna, that's their problem. They got to talk to the authorities about that. But anyway, I'm here. And what happened was I wrote that song because I remember being in kindergarten, and my mother was an amazing mother. Like my mother was attentive. She was Scorpio, first of all. My mother was attentive.
So am I.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said it. My mother, yeah, she was attentive. She was loving. She would walk me to kindergarten every morning and be there to pick me up every afternoon. And I just remember how happy I was as a child because she introduced me to things like we would go to like New Jersey because I'm in Philly, so it's not that far over from South Jersey, and we would go to places, and she knew I had a love of animals, so she would take me to like lakes and things, and I'd see like geese and ducks and things like that. She would always picnic with me on Temple University's campus because we lived right in the Temple University area, literally across the street, like literally where we were. The university was right across the street. You could literally walk there. So we would go on to their green spaces, and she would prepare whole picnics and food and have our little radio out there. And she was just such an amazing mother. And I'll never forget seeing her. It's kind of tragic. I saw her at the kitchen table with her quote unquote friends. I saw her take her first hit of cocaine. And then it was crack. And then it was a whole bunch of other things. So in 2018, when I wrote that song, it was just a nostalgic moment to remember. Because I have publicized, the life that I've had and where I came from. And, this bitch is not perfect. She came from the hood, and, she climbed and climbed and climbed and climbed and climbed. But that memory, I wanted to encapsulate and encase forever.
Yeah.
And, for me, the one way to do that is music, is song. So I sang about, I want to go back, like I want to go back to when we were happy and when we loved, and take me back to the 80s again, because
I got that.
yeah, she was
Every time I listen to it, I love the song,
yeah.
but I always hear like a tiny bit of sadness
Bingo.
up in here because it's just I understand. You want to go back to the moments. You want to think about that.
Yeah.
We can always harp on the bad stuff that does, the horrible things, but sometimes it's healthier.
Yeah.
Focus on the good memories and the good things, and that I can relate.
Yeah.
And that song, I can always hear a slight sadness.
Yeah.
In that song, and I'm like, this is I love this song.
Yeah. And
Thank you for that song.
I'm thanking you. Thank you for listening to that. And I love that, because the people that have known me the longest, you guys flat out ask me, what's behind that?
Because I can tell.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys, you saw me cry on YouTube. I was in a very difficult situation, mental illness, trying to.
I saw that. And my question to you is, what made you video that? That whole time.
I'm gonna listen, see.
Because I didn't know what to do. I'm like, what do? I don't know how to contact him. I can only just watch and pray and just hope that he finds help. Because I didn't do. I would just be like, what?
Yeah.
I don't do.
Yeah. This is the thing. At that time in my life, and this is crazy. I was born out of a lot of trauma, and we have to understand that. I've had 16 years of therapy, so I can go back into this. But what happened was, I thought that, like many people, I had a slip up during a sexual interaction, and instead of going to get tested, like you should, I
Mhm.
kind of assumed the worst and told no one, and just was kind of going to run until I couldn't run no more
Uh-huh.
into the ground. And I remember YouTube was a reinvigoration of my career. I had already, that was 2008. 2005, from 2003, 4, and 5, I was modeling. I went to Paris in 2005. I had touched the divine, basically. And then my mental illness sent me like screeching to the earth again, to a black hole. So I had a job. We all know what I did. I was a phone sex agent back then. I was very open about that. And I decided that very late, because this was the thing, you have to understand why I didn't go get tested. I had someone in my family who is a shaman as well, who's an oracle as well, who's a prophet. We all have these gifts. Seer, that's what I do now. That helps me to be so impactful, is because I can sense what the community is needing. And I mean the community of humanity. So this person was very jealous of me from the time I was a child. And this person would say very evil things to me, like, you're never going to be anything. You're going to get HIV and die. They'll never, like these kind of things. So I was so afraid of that. But I found a need to want to connect to a man, to want to be with a man. But I have to be honest, if you don't have sex ed, we're out here learning on our own. We're out here trialing it by fire.
Right.
So what happened was, I had gone, and I'll never forget the day that I thought that I was ill, because my body started to hurt in ways I had never felt before. I'd always been thin. I could always hide that. It was never a problem. So it was like, okay, well, I already wasn't used to eating a lot, because models, we didn't eat a lot, especially back then. We still don't. But I remember standing in the bathroom at work and looking at my face, and I thought that there was wasting in my face. So I was like, oh my God. And I remember standing there crying, like, you made a mistake, and this mistake is going to come true. What this family member said about you, it's going to come to pass. And I remember coming to YouTube because I said, I got to leave something behind. Someone has to know that I existed. Someone has to know that I was here. And YouTube, you could post a video up on YouTube and you see them now. There are videos 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. I knew that it would stay up there forever.
Mhm.
So YouTube was my way of documenting that I was here, that I had been here. And then what happened, look at this, what happened, Trav, was as I just was documenting my voice and all the things that people hated about me, as I was documenting that, I found people such as yourself coming to me like, this is good. You're good. Keep doing this. So then I had to make a choice. Was I going to live in secret with something killing me and not going to get help for it? Or was I going to embrace this new life of this newfound community that was telling me that I could be a part of it and do something with this? So what I did was, it was actually YouTube and the response that I got from everyone on YouTube that forced me to go get a test, forced me to go look at my health, forced me to say, I may have wasted time, but I'm going to live the rest of the time that I have here on this planet beautifully.
Great.
Yeah. And I remember going, and I told the doctor, because I went to something we have here for, it's like a center for, LGBTQIAP youth. It's called the Mizoni Center here in Philadelphia. So I went to the Mizoni Center, and you can have health care, especially if you have, diseases or whatever, infections, whatever, or you just can't see a regular doctor because you don't have the health care. So I went and I told the doctor, it was a Friday afternoon. I said, listen, I'm HIV positive. I just need you to confirm this for me and get me on something that's going to keep me alive. Because now I have all these people that want me to stay alive. They don't even know why they want me to stay alive or that I'm dealing with this, but I want to stay alive for these people. I want to continue to give these people what they see from me and they deem as good. So she said to me, well, why do you think you would be ill? So I told her about the slip up and all of this, and that, it'd been a while, because it had been a while. Like my sex life was, because of that family member, it was off and on. I would have sex, then I wouldn't have sex. Then I'd have sex, and my spans would be a very long time. On August 9th, I just celebrated 10 years of celibacy. I do that. I know. Yeah.
That's not my story. But hallelujah. Praise the Lord.
Right. But I told her that, and she said, why? She said, well, listen, let's do a test. And she says, if you don't hear back from us, you're fine. If we call you and need to see you again, we have to have another conversation. So it was a Friday afternoon. I went to work. And I got to work and the phone rang. And I saw the number from the Mizoni Center. And I panicked. And I remember being at work. I was so devastated. I left work and ran, I'm in Philly. So I left work and ran to New York with my friends. They were like, I told my boss what was going on. And she was like, go. My boss said that, go. So I went, and she kept calling me throughout, and this is my boss, she kept calling me throughout the weekend saying, you can handle this. You can handle this. Come back to us. You can handle this. So the doctor calls and says, hey, I need to see you on Monday. So I had to go from the weekend all the way to Monday to wait and see this doctor. So I was there at 8 o'clock in the morning. They opened at 9. And the first thing, she walks into the room, the examining room, and she says to me, I just need to know why you thought you're HIV positive. And she said, tell me that story again. And I told her the story again, and I told her about the slip up, and she says, well, what you did really, you used the condom for this. This, this couldn't have happened. It's a 0.04 chance of you contracting HIV. And then she actually said to me, you're more dangerous to the person with HIV than they are to you. Mm-hmm. So then she tells me, she says, you're HIV negative, right? Your test came back and you're negative. I just needed to see you because I think that there's a mental situation going on there that needs to be addressed. And she was right. I started therapy there. She was right. And I remember thinking to myself, I had ruined my modeling career, because I was flipping out in Paris because the attitude was, I need to hurry up and get signed and do this before I die. Mm-hmm. That was literally my thinking. I need to say that I could do this so I could go out of here and say I did it. And that was literally, I wasn't suicidal myself, but I was preparing to just be no more. So then came to YouTube, and it was going well for a while. And that's the thing, people such as yourself that were true human beings, divine human beings, spiritual human beings, you guys would write me like, there's something else going on here. What else is going on here? And that was, nowadays, I don't even know if you can do that anymore. Message people in the inbox like we used to.
No idea.
Yeah, I got a whole channel and I don't even know. But it was the messages. Like I would read your messages and you guys were like, what's going on? Like I met my first producer through, me doing that. And we crafted so many of my songs, including one of my iconic songs, Black Stilettos. We did a lot of work, and he's like, what's going on here? So I had to tell him what I was dealing with. And he's like, well, okay, you won't be the first. You're not the first. You won't be the last, but you're going to take care of yourself now, right? And I had literally, that was my first apartment. I had been homeless before that. And my family, it was crazy. My family put me out. And it was just like, I was trying to figure out so much. But as you could see in that empty apartment with no furniture, I had 3 Persian cats.
Oh, I remember your cat.
You remember? I spent the money.
I don't know this.
Right, the Persian, I picked them up and sing to them, and they run around in the
I
background.
remember that.
I had
I
3 of the most expensive cats on the face of the planet. Cost me thousands of dollars, and they were my life. They were my life. I needed something to live into, and I've always been a creature like that. I needed some reason. It always had to be someone other than me as to the reason why I was living. You know, Trav, that's dangerous. You know, that's dangerous.
Extremely.
Extremely.
Because we are the most important beings in our lives. Us. We cannot get to other things, not even plants, if we don't care about ourselves. If we don't put effort into being ourselves and loving ourselves and just existing, no matter how ugly you think you may be, or inappropriate you think you may be, or whatever things are caused by other people telling you these things. You don't know you're ugly because you don't know these things.
Right.
They tell you these things about yourself and you adopt these things as fact. 9 times out of 10, that's not true. Because you don't talk to yourself, you don't get to know yourself, you don't journal, you don't ask yourself questions, you don't say, I don't like that. Why don't I like that? I like this though. Why I like it's a lie.
Yeah.
That's why you felt like you needed to put your life into these cats.
Yeah, I did. They were my world. They were my world until I got sick and I couldn't care for them. So then I had to call my friend who was the breeder and tell her, come get them. But it was, I'm going to tell you something. Ooh. So what happens is everything was going well. I was healthy. I was having therapy. My YouTube presence was growing. Everything seemed to be going well. But I was at that time a very fragile personality. And someone on YouTube, who is a celebrity today, wrote me a message and said, I love everything about you. And then after that, launched a hate campaign behind the scenes to kind of keep me from coming to public light. There were a lot of things that were being done, and it forced me to I got ill because I didn't foresee it. I couldn't understand why this person was being mean to me, why this person was hacking my computer, why this person was sending people to my residence to hurt me. I couldn't understand why all of that was happening. And it didn't stop there. It has gone on for 16 years now. That same celebrity behind the scenes is still trying their best to end me. And, you know, it's apparent that they can't. How about, let's start there without any shade. It's apparent that they can't. But then everything that they have thrown at me, I have learned from. And it has made me a better performer, a better entrepreneur, a better person, because I have to think outside the box so often that I have to come up with ways and strategies to get around this person, to go under, to, you know, go over, to fly through. Like, I have to constantly think of strategy. Now it's me and my team, but we working on it. We working on it. You know, they got software and all this stuff. We working on it.
Just continue to figure out ways around it.
Yeah.
Maneuver.
But what happened was I didn't anticipate that type of hatred. So it made me very ill, and that's why the bottom fell out of the YouTube. I didn't anticipate that ferocity. And it took me a while. I disappeared from YouTube. And then, but by that time, my grandmother had grabbed me. She was like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but all right, we already know there's mental illness. You were withdrawn from college because of this. Now we're gonna face it together. So I didn't have to face it anymore by myself. I had somebody rooting for me, somebody shielding me, somebody providing me lodgings. I no longer had to work a job so that I could focus on myself. I could go to the therapy. At that time, I was having therapy twice a week. It was that serious. I had so much trauma. I was in such a petrified state. But I got myself together, and then this person came back and continued to do things. When I went viral in 2016, they hacked my page, took a video off my page, actually just shared it. They took a video off my page, hacked another celebrity's page with 2 million followers on it. And they put my page, my video up on this page and talked about how I had hacked it to get exposure, this, that, and the other. And 2 million people started attacking me at the time that I started to go viral. And not only did they attack me, but they attacked my buddy, Talk Gay with Faye Lando is his name, who had helped me. They attacked his page as well because he—
Where is he? I remember him.
Get it. He went to school, back to school, because he has multiple degrees. He went back to school. He works for the government. So he travels all over the world. And
Yeah.
That's what he's doing with himself. He's traveling all over the world.
Where he went, I know exactly who you're talking about.
He's traveling all over the world. I'm trying to get him to interview with me, but I think he's kind of apprehensive about coming back to the camera in that kind of capacity. But he'll do it one day. You know, after I interview somebody real big, then he'll do it. They all doing that. I don't get too many no's anymore. So,
Hey.
but no, to tell you the honest truth, it's just because he left that part of his life alone, being in front of the camera and content.
Because I did, to be honest, I did too.
Yeah. But to be honest, a lot of us did.
Yeah, like I left YouTube because I felt like I had exhausted everything that I had to give to YouTube. Like there's only so many things I can talk about. And at that point, I was tired of talking to people about certain things.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to focus on writing and creating things outside of YouTube, because YouTube had changed a lot.
Yeah.
Now there were a lot of things. And I was just tired of my videos getting like muted.
Yeah.
And certain things like that. I'm like, it's really not that big a deal. I'll just figure something else out to be creative. And that's what I did. I mean, sometimes I want to go back, but I don't know. It has a different kind of way.
Allow me to say to you, go back.
Okay.
Go back. Yes. Not I think. I know. Go back. Because if you, Trav, listen, you were doing this before we were doing this. Before these young little influencers and all these things came up and started doing this and that and the other, you were one of the pioneers doing this. You must go back, because what's going to happen is, listen to this. This is the craziest thing about this business of social media content creation. Trending is cute, but trending doesn't feed the soul.
No.
You were feeding the souls back then. And if you return, you will continue to feed the souls. People will gravitate to you. You have to understand that this world, even these babies, Gen Z, all of them, they're looking for guides. They're looking for inspiration. They're looking for leaders. And us being, I turned 40 in September, we're right on par. We're right on par to lead these babies. And get it, these babies got mommy and daddy's credit cards. They got mommy and daddy's resources. They buying our merchandise. They doing, these babies can support us. They can support us. And they live through what we're saying online. I literally started again on Instagram because it was 15 seconds. I was angry at this person doing the shady shit behind the scenes. So I put on my grandmother's church hat and some sunglasses because I was still kind of afraid. the sunglasses kind of kept you from looking in my eyes and seeing the fear. Okay. And I got up and I said, listen, I'm one of the biggest things to ever hit the gay community. I said, so all of you haters and hatresses are just going to have to fucking deal with it. Adapt, adjust, cope. And my friend Philando, he shared it and it went viral. I literally went from 10,000 followers to 22,000 in one night. And literally from that one experience, all of this has come. All of it.
What sugar they cutting you?
You remember that? Okay. Look, right? But look at all that was birthed. And all of that I needed for my process. I needed everything, which is why at one point I got sick and tired of Instagram and I left for 7 months. And now everybody's like, oh my God, you're back. I'm like, yeah, but I'm marketing my shit now. I'm using Instagram the way a business would. Snippet here, snippet there, you know, go to the website, go to this, you know, but I realized I had a purpose. And not just a purpose. For me, the internet, this right here, because I'm a special bitch. I got special things that go with me. And when I say special, I mean, I need to watch my mental illness. I need to watch who I'm around. I need to eat a certain way. Take my medicine, have therapy. So this right here is a safe space to do all of that in. I can come here, touch the whole world and go on about my business, go see my therapist. You know, so it's not really that career of running around the whole world, exhausting yourself. You literally sitting right here. I touch the whole world. I talk to people all over, places that I never even thought they'd even know who I was. And it's literally because social media and the internet is so powerful. And I remember getting to an argument with one of my best friend, and she was like, this was like in 2008. And she's like, well, we got to move to the next step. We got to move to the next level. You got to go to a record label and you got to audition and things like that. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. And she was like, because my name was more amused, but my name was Kali then. I changed it. So she's like, Kali, this is the next step. You can't stay on the internet and make money from the internet. And you need to go out there. And I said, watch me. Watch me. I knew then that I needed a certain setup. It had to be my way or no way. And a lot of people don't realize that, I had an executive from Hollywood last night. I was on the phone with her concerning my son. I had, how we have babies, we become mothers and fathers. And well, my son is moving to Hollywood and she's an executive producer that I interviewed. And she was talking to me last night and talking to me, my boyfriend and my son, because he's our baby together. So she said out of her mouth, she was like, I want you to understand what you guys have done. You guys have your own show and you control it. You guys are the leaders now in entertainment. She said, ain't no money in Hollywood. And I was like, she said, no, the money is now in the artist's hands and in the creative hands. And now Hollywood has to contract you to come in and do what you do. It's more so now a partnership. And with you owning everything, she said, you never even have to come this way. And she's right. Go ahead, say what you're going to say.
Yes, because I make movies now.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in like the machine of Hollywood or the big studio thing because, like you said, this is my stuff. I own it.
Yeah.
I want to market it how I want to market it. I'm going to play it where I want to play it.
Yeah.
And that's just how I feel more comfortable and in control of my life when I own my stuff. Like, just thinking about somebody owning even a piece of what I've created kind of makes me feel some kind of way. Like, I feel uncomfortable with it.
It sends me into a panic attack. I have a panic attack. I can't think like that.
Right. Like, right now, I don't know if that will change later. But as of right now, everything that I create, I'm extremely It's mine.
Yeah.
Period. I don't want nobody saying, well, if you do, no,
Mm-mm.
not doing that right now.
Mm-mm.
Not,
I'm gonna
I
say
just,
one.
like, I'm sure I might in the future. I don't know, but as of right now, because it's mine. I created it. I thought about it. I put it on paper. I hired actors.
No.
I put money into this,
Yeah.
and I just want to protect it for as long as I can because
Now,
it's important.
yeah, because it supports you and it gives you the freedom to create and be who you are.
Absolutely.
And you get to put your ideas out into the world. Who in their right mind would give that up, Trav?
I'm not doing that right now.
Let me tell you something. You and I have the same purpose. You have the same purpose as I do. And it's kind of funny that we've known each other all these years, and to go through YouTube, to go through social media, to go through all that we went through in our personal lives, our objective is the same. I will never sell what I've created. When I tell you, I will own this to the day that I die. And you know what's so crazy? I've had experts come in and look at what I'm doing, and analysts, and the difference, they always tell me, the difference to why you are successful is because your grandmother gave you a space to just wait. Let it accrue interest. Let it become valuable. Let it grow. Let it breathe. Last night, and I'm gonna say her name, I usually don't, but last night I was on the internet and Kaya was doing a music video for one of her songs. Love the dress too, and the car. She was in this yellow, like really beautiful dress, and she was doing the video for this song at a gas station. And get this, in the comment section, they were roasting her. They were up there like, oh, this bitch is putting out a music video for this song that's 20 years old. And then they was roasting, oh, because she on P-Valley now, she getting that P-Valley check. Oh, she finally got the budget, this, that, and the other. And I lost it. So I said in the comment section, I said, what Kaya is doing is actually brilliant. And I'm gonna tell you why. Your favorite artist, your favorite musical acts, they travel the world for 30, 40 years. Look at Cher, look at Diana Ross. They travel performing their hits from times past. So that was the first part. I said, then on top of that, I said, if Kaya owns her masters to that song, she can take that song and reintroduce it to generations and ears who haven't heard it yet. Do you know the return potential on that if she owns it? I said, for you guys to say that lets me know that you don't understand what's going on in music. I said, because if you did, you would understand that if it was just for the initial sale today, and those records would not accrue interest or value, there would be no need for the music industry to hold on to the masters. They'd give them to the artists. They retain the masters, not for today, for 20 years.
Later.
Yeah.
The future.
That's how I work. I tell everybody today, this interview today, it's not for today, it's for 20 years from now. That's how I work.
From now, baby, it's gonna be on and popping.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay. So
I know that for a fact.
yes. Like, are you kidding? And it was so crazy because so many young people started to then pop into my DMs like, you know things. I said, well, I'm a music insider. I'm a music insider. I have done the work, and you got to pay me for my knowledge.
Of course.
Yeah, I got mentees. It's $250 an hour, but you can afford that. Anytime you can go on Cameo and pay $600 for your favorite celebrity to send you a high message, $600, $700 and up, you can give me $250 to teach you something you'll never forget that will help you.
I understand it.
Yeah, like it's not for today. All these new people, all these babies that don't know us yet. It's why I forget it. It's why I even fashioned our talent clearance form the way that I did. We own it together. It's a collaboration together. We make money together. We make any money, we split it 50-50. That's what I'm into. Everything in my life reflects that. I used to be scared of collaborations because I would watch the industry collaborate and then they would fall out and be fighting. And then all of a sudden, what was a collaboration? You guys may have the paperwork in place, but your feud is killing the record.
It is. And don't nobody want that.
Don't nobody want that. Then all of a sudden, all your fans go to one corner of this for this person, and all your other fans go to this corner for the other person, and you've defeated the purpose because you guys were supposed to cross mark. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. So many people were like, oh, you know things. I'm like, yeah. And then I said to them, and then I closed it because I said, and then let me close with this. I'm tired of all of y'all saying that your favorite artist is underrated. There's no such thing as underrated. It just means that they didn't get the payola that the big artists got. Because you got to pay for everything. You got to pay to be a part of the Grammys. You got to pay, you pay. All this radio airtime, all of this stuff, you pay. Somebody pays. And then get it and get this. Then you understand why the artist gets such a small cut. Because the label is looking at you like, bitch, we did everything. What? We did everything. We did it all. I was mortified by this, mind you. I watched Taylor Swift give a speech when she received an award about how Scooter Braun and a group of investors bought her entire catalog that she had been trying to buy herself, got together. And now all the music that made her Taylor Swift, she doesn't own. I think she's doing something about that. That's a smart woman. So there's some kind of legal situation going on with that. Mm-hmm. But this is what people don't understand. It's not for today. This shit is gonna feed us 20 years from now. When I'm laying on the damn veranda of my chateau in the countryside of France, it'll be because of what I did today. Today. And one thing that my grandmother, which is why I praise my grandmother so much, is because she took care of my overhead. And that's why I'm so respectful of other creators, because they don't have that. They got to go to a job every day and they got to work all day for the man. And then they got to come home and try to fit in when they're going to be creative.
I'm telling you, I perfected that. It's hard.
Yes.
When I was filming or preparing pre-production for my short film, I would work my 9 to 5.
Yep.
And I would go straight from there to go to a part-time. This was to fund this myself. I didn't want to ask. So I'm like, I'm getting out of that now. I'm asking.
Yeah.
So I went and worked a lot just to fund this, to pay people and to make sure it was quality. Yeah. And it was very difficult, but the feeling you get when you see what you put all that work into, it comes to fruition. That's the best feeling in the world to me. I don't care if nobody sees it. I don't care if anybody buys it, streams it. I feel like it was all worth it. Even our overhead. I don't do that again.
I heard that. Like, I don't do that again, but yeah, because I don't want to do it again. But get this. My one buddy, he used to make documentaries. He did a documentary for me. I think he's off doing school or something. He just vanished for a long while. It's been a while, but I miss him so much. But he used to submit his work to film festivals around the country and win money.
Absolutely. I did too. And I'm going to do the next one that way as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's a lot. A lot of people have a lot to say about a lot of different things. And I think what you got to do.
You know what? That's why, listen, one of my favorite people in the whole wide world is T.S. Madison. And the reason why I bring up T.S. Madison is because she's a Libra. I'm a Libra. So naturally, I'm going to hold it down for my Libra sister. So the one thing I like about T.S. Madison, and for two things, because I want to thank her for allowing us to sit and conversate on her and Beyonce's internet today. Okay, because Madison this is her internet. Okay, so but one thing I liked about her is that she was prepared to do anything and everything to put her dream out, get her dream on the map, and did. And what I love is that she don't care. She like, I did what I had to do, y'all. And watch me in this new video. Watch me in this new movie, not video, movie. Watch me in this new movie. Y'all can discuss what I did and what I used to be, but watch me in this new movie. Go to the box office, get the tickets at the movie theater and watch me in this movie. And that, I love that because it's a hustler's mentality. It's a hustler's mentality. Especially this business of entertainment, it's a hustler's world. I love it. I used to even in my meet.
It's your baby. Make sure it's seen. Figure out a way for people to see it. Figure out a way to get it out there. You just have to figure it out.
I used to say to my best friend all the time that I was a drug dealer, and she would be like, "What are you pushing?" And I would be like, "My music," because my music. I used to call my music heroin. Like heroin.
Okay.
Call my music heroin because of the dopamine release. I put a lot of dopamine into my music so that I could get a lot of people's dopamine out of my music. Like when you listen, it starts doing things to you. You like, I don't know why I'm feeling this way. I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but it's because I put a lot of dopamine, the chemical dopamine in my music. So I used to always say to my friends, like, I'm about to do some more heroin. We got to chop this up and sell it. We got to chop it up and sell. Like, this is a hustler's environment because these big companies, they've programmed the world to only want to accept advertising and art their way.
Their way. That's what I was going to say. It's not like, and you got people like T.S. Madison, yourself, other people who are figuring out other models to get what they need.
Like,
period. That's just your way.
I'm gonna piggyback off of what you said. It was hard. It was hard.
And nobody likes to admit that it was hard. It's hard as hell.
Get this.
Sometimes you don't have no money.
Trav,
people want to act stupid.
It's still hard because more you doing more, you got more bills. You got to pay more people. You got to pay more people. And see, I only subcontract. So that means I pay you to do this for me. I subcontract. So yeah, like, and I mean, it was like, and that person that I was speaking of, they did everything to stop me from getting my customers to the point of sale. Like, like the link. Yeah, I think we might have had this conversation before, but but like literally the link in my bio section wouldn't work. I tried Linktree, I tried S-Link. I finally had to build my own Linktree through my website. I literally had to create a page on my website to be my own Linktree because my website is protected.
It's so sad when people who are outside of you go to such lengths to try to block what you're trying to do. That's really sad.
But you know what it did? It backfired. Because what happened was, if they had never bothered me, I wouldn't have known how dope I was. I would have stopped a long time ago. But because they keep messing, it sends a signal, chemical reaction to my brain. Oh no, bitch, you got this. Keep going. Keep going. They wouldn't be fighting you like this if you weren't going to do above and beyond what they could even think or fathom. Oh yeah. If they had never did what they did, I wouldn't be the Phoenix that I am today. I would have stopped a long time ago. I would have been comfortable with, oh, I'm gonna just go this far. But because they messed with me, I pulled out all the stops, every single stop. I was like, oh no, because I got to fit. Like, I know so much. I just recently released marketing for my merchandise. I've had my merchandise store for 15 years. I just never said anything. It's always been a link in the bio, but I actually put it up on my page now. Tell you the prices, it looks, but you see, it looks better because in the beginning, I didn't know how to make it look good. That's the importance of holding on to your stuff. See, now you know how to treat it. You get better at the treatment and the placement and all of that. So now all I had to do was go in there and snatch what was mine, pull it out and dust it off and say, okay, we're going to put this up here this way. And now I got people saying, oh, I want that hoodie. I want this. I want that. And I'm like, oh, baby, y'all want that? I got so many illustrated drawings that I commissioned a genius fashion designer from the UK to draw for me. They're all Black. They're all fashion. You wait till you see these illustrations on these shirts that are copyrighted images.
Talk about it. And I don't think they realize that what they're doing, the way they're doing it, really is teaching us how to be better.
Oh, they regret it. They regret it.
And we're never going to stop.
Yeah.
Now, thanks to you.
Yeah.
Thanks to you. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you do. You do. But I told that person back in 08, 09, I'm going to make you wish you never crossed me. And I've been doing that. And I'm just getting started. It's my 40th year. Do you know what kind of spiritual power comes in the 40th year from the divine? It's already happening. He done sent me my man. I'm like, I never had a boyfriend before. I got a man. You know, like I'm like, okay.
I saw the video. I was like, oh, so cute. I'm so happy.
Yeah. Listen, when it's right, it's right. And I even said to him, I have moments of weakness. And I said to him, did I wait too late? Because he's loved me for 20 years. Did I wait too late? Did I miss my best years with you? And he says to me, your best years with me are the ones we are building now. Because he said, we both had to get ready. We both had to be ready. He's like, why do you keep putting it on you as you had to get ready? He's like, I had to get ready for you too. It's amazing. It's amazing because like I was saying, and why I brought up my grandmother provided me the space, the time, and the opportunity to just sit on it and let it accrue interest. I'm literally just sitting. And I don't have to worry about my lights being off. I don't have to worry about my 2 cell phones that are both for work being off. I don't have to worry about nothing. I'm literally just sitting. I'm literally just sitting like, okay, keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. And doing what I do. I don't have to stress that. And I'm so grateful to her for that because I don't know if I could have done that. I was a very, like I said, fragile personality, work and all of that. I couldn't have done it that way. I needed to be, my overhead needed to be taken care of. And she did that for me. It's been 16 years, Trav. That's how long it took me. It's been 16 years. Of up and down and learning myself and therapy and medication. It's been 16 years. And it flatters me that after 16 years, that person is still trying. I'm like, oh, you know what this is about, baby. I'm not even trying to wipe the floor with you. I'm not trying to hurt you. I don't need to. You did what you were supposed to do. And I literally say that with no shade. I say that with no shade. That person did what they were designed to do. Because I would have never kept going like this. Every time I get a curveball, I'm like, my mind just I start seeing equations. I'm like, oh, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. Leaked my first album, Trav. I came to Atlanta in 2018. To do that album. I had an upper respiratory infection. I had to sing around that. It was so hard to even get that album recorded, only for that person to leak it online. And then when my lawyer said, we got to issue digital copyright media takedown notices everywhere, and they ran it through Russia where we had no jurisdiction, he said, we got to come up with something else. I said, all right, go back. I went back into the studio to the 24 songs to add 26 more. Do you know As after I did that, the first album became the promotion to the second album, because I said, if you heard those 24 songs, well, there's 26 more on the deluxe. You got to check this out. And they're exclusively on the deluxe. They took down what they had done, because now I was still going to make money anyway.
People just need to just focus on what they're doing. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Don't be intimidated. Don't just focus on you.
Get this. Beyonce said something that really stuck out to me in one of her addresses. I think it was to college graduates. She said, don't talk to nobody or complain about what nobody else is not doing or what someone isn't doing. She said, you be about it. You be about that action. You get it done. And that's exactly that's what we're all doing. People act like
one of her current songs, she says, "I am the bar."
Yes. Oh, I know. I love it. I'm living for
I am the bar. Like, I
yes.
don't see nobody else.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody else when it comes to this. It's me. I'm having fun.
Yep. Because get this, the only person you're in competition with is you. Is you.
Nobody else is around in the late hours of the morning when you're trying to figure out what you're gonna do, how you're gonna do it. It's just you.
Yeah, it's just you. You're so right. People do not understand. I get up at about 10 o'clock in the morning. I lay down at about 3 or 4 every night. Every night. Because I'm doing this myself. Now I have people, but get this, I don't trust my people that much to put that kind of power in their hands. I have to oversee everything. It's mine. I built it. I got to watch every dime.
I'm like that.
Okay. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. Okay, good. No. I'm like, oh, I'm really crazy.
No, because I had an editor, and I'm like, let me see what he's doing. Let me what you edited. I just need to see how, just to make sure my vision.
Let me just run behind you real quick and
just want to see. That's all.
Yeah, because it's yours. And my thing, Trav, is white people do it all the time and they never question them.
No.
It is understood that they can have Fortune 500 companies that they built and allocate money for this and have write off jets and all kinds of things. But a Black person, it's like, we're not supposed to be the masters of our own universe?
And to be questioned, why do you need this? Well, why like that? Why?
Because I do. I got over 100 wigs, 150 wigs. Why do you need them? Because I do. And I wrote every last one off because it was part of the wardrobe.
Hey, we can do that.
Don't play with me.
Because I want it.
Exactly. And this is my company.
Hey, I don't have to explain.
Ain't nobody coming in to tell me how to run this. This is mine. This is mine.
Oh my God.
I also work so hard too, Trav, because this was the first thing that I was ever super successful at. I had a lot of failure in my life. And let me tell you something, I ain't made $1 million yet. I'm still working like everybody else is working. But you know what I said to myself the other day? And I laughed, I gotta share this with you. I sat here and I said, God, I am underpaid and overworked. And this is my shit. And I am underpaid and overworked. And do you know what the divine said to me? Well, you won't be the first person in the world that has a job that is essential that is underpaid. He said, honey, even with college degrees, underpaid. He said, so join the club. And if this what you're doing makes you happy, then you're winning.
That's it.
See, that's how the divine deals with me.
That's it. Are you happy?
Then you're winning, because there's a lot of people underpaid. It's a lot of people underpaid, not making what they really deserve.
There are a lot of people who are doing jobs that they hate.
Yes. So that's why he said to me, if you're happy, you're winning. Keep on doing your job. Keep on doing your job.
Keep doing it.
Yeah, keep doing it. Like Beyonce said, be about that action. Don't talk about what somebody else is not doing. You do it. You know what's so crazy? This whole experience has taught, I'm not lazy, Trav. It will be 4 o'clock in the morning. I need something done. I get up and do it myself. I like literally, it could be something in my house. I get up and do it myself. I don't ask nobody for nothing. It was kind of crazy as my boyfriend said it to me. I said, babe, the one thing about this is I don't know how to let you hold me because I've been holding me for a long time. And he was like, he looked at me. He's like, I knew that would be an issue. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I can hold you. I said, but I have to learn how to let you, listen to this, let you hold me because I've been holding me.
That's it. Got to let him learn. You got to learn.
Yeah.
Let him.
I got to learn to let him love me.
It might be a little uncomfortable in the beginning. But
yeah.
Just keep trying it and
right?
grow more trust.
I'm gonna see him for my birthday. We're going on a little mini vacation. So.
That's fun. When is your September what?
29th.
Okay.
I'll be 40 years old. Trust me, I'm gonna post the Cash App because I'm gonna be like, listen, that day, I'm gonna be like, make it do what it do. This is my 40th birthday. Make it do what it do, baby. I'm gonna just post. And listen, I made the flyer already because that's how I work. I do my own flyers, everything, all the graphics, everything. I do it all. I just recently refaced for my podcast, over 200 episodes, 30 minutes long, just did a whole reface of what it looked like. And my baby said to me, he's like, you really have that mind. You really do. I don't need nobody coming and do nothing. Now get this. I'm not saying that I can't take help. I can take help. I know how to let you help me. But when it comes down to whose shit is this and how I want it done, you got to consult.
I understand.
Yeah, I know you. So tell me real quick, tell me about, you said you make films now. This is something new. Tell me about this, Trav.
I wrote something like 10 years ago.
Right.
It was like a project just for play. I wasn't even going to release it. It's sort of like a soap opera-ish type drama thing that I was doing. I'm like, I'm gonna share it with some friends to see what they think. And I did. And it was this one scene everybody loved about this breakup of a couple. And it's a really toxic couple. And the whole episode focused on them breaking up online. So I said, well, I'm going to turn this one scene into a short film.
Yeah.
Just to see how it's going to, So I did a script. It was like 20 pages. I'm like, I can make this work as a little short film.
Yeah.
So mind you, I didn't know how to do any of this. So I said, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a casting for people. Didn't know how it worked. Didn't know about no SAG or all. I said, I'm going to just find people who can act. So I was on Instagram all over the place, like posting stuff on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. If you know how to act, and I had all the stats. And people replied. I'm like, okay, now what do I do?
Exactly. Now what do I do?
Set up my little garden room as like a audition room.
Right.
I had people come in. I looked on YouTube. I'm like, so they usually record these people. So I recorded my people do this thing called a slate.
Yeah.
I taught myself how to do. So we did a casting. I got the right people. Ended up having to fire one girl, but that's all right. Replace her within 2 days, and the person ended up with the role. It's amazing. So God worked.
It happens.
It was great. The movie is called Phantoms. It's actually streaming on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
Been on Amazon Prime since its inception. It was supposed to be a premiere, but COVID happened. It had to be canceled. I was devastated. But the next one will be better.
Yeah. So you were saying it was called Phantoms.
It's called Phantoms. And basically the story is a toxic relationship of a heterosexual couple. I have to say that because people assume because I'm queer.
Right.
All of those things, all of my content is supposed to be queer related, like LGBT, but it's not.
It's not.
It's not. So it's a really interesting story. It's 18-minute long story, and it takes place in one room.
Wow.
And they go at it. It's sort of like what's a toxic movie about?
Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Like that. Like they at it for like 20 minutes. And I'm like, it's exactly what I wanted it to be. because I just wanted to get like how that works. I wanted to get one side
Yeah.
of the thing. You treat me like this because, and his side is like, he's not into you. But the thing is, the connection is why it's called Phantom is because he messed over an ex-girlfriend. He cheated on her. And you know, like guilt sometimes can eat you alive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like when you lose a limb and they say you have a phantom limb there, you can always feel it, but nothing's there. So that's sort of how she is, his ex. She's like that appendage that's missing, but she's always there.
Wow.
She's in the shadows. She's everywhere he looks. He's just eaten up with guilt. And it's destroyed his current relationship. So that's what it's about.
Wow.
It's sort of like a triangle, but his ex shows up in one scene, but that's in a memory.
Wow. And it's streaming on Amazon. And it's streaming on Amazon Prime.
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna have
I'm
to.
very proud.
You should be. You should
Like
be.
that was a huge undertaking. Like trying to get something on Amazon Prime is, I didn't know it was that difficult, but it was worth weeks and weeks and weeks of trying to get that done. And I don't even think they allow independent filmmakers to do that anymore. So I got in just under the cutoff.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud of that. I'm working on something new that's very different for me. So I'm not going to say too much, but
Right.
it's different.
Right.
So next year.
Yes. But you know what's so funny? Even as you're talking, I can hear the fulfillment. I can hear the happiness. I can hear,
Right.
yeah, the
Baby, I love to create. I love it. I just love it. Like when I was little, I was the only child for like a while. I was raised by my grandmother as well.
Yeah.
And it was her and I in the house. The other kids came later, but it was her and I was just in my own world writing. I've been writing ever since I can remember. So
Wow.
it's like creating something from nothing. That's very satisfying to me.
Mm-hmm. Now
Very.
tell everybody this, because you kept the brand name Trav the Wordsmith. Where did that come from?
My best friend, Kevin, he passed away on my birthday in 2006.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's fine. Thank you. I had once upon a time, an administrative services business on the side
Okay.
where I went out to small businesses and I offered my services to do like administrative things,
Yeah.
stuff that they didn't know how to do or wanted to outsource.
Yeah.
I did that for like a year and the name came from him. I said, what should I name my business? He was like, you're a wordsmith, you were right. I was like, yes. So he was like, call it Trav the Wordsmith, Administrative Services. I was like, oh, ever since, that's just been my brand. It worked and it makes sense. So yeah, it's because of Kevin.
He's so proud of you.
I know he is. He visits,
Proud of you.
comes around.
Yeah.
I know.
See, this is too good, honey. I'm like, oh, this is too good. So, my God. So you're in Atlanta, right?
I am. I've been here for
I'm backtracking now. So where are you from, like originally?
I am from South Georgia.
Okay.
Very small city, well, town.
and-
Jessup, Georgia. It's like right outside of Savannah, like 40 minutes
Okay.
on the coast. So it's a very small town, very country.
Yeah.
Stuff. Like that sensibility is always in my writing. So if you read anything I write,
Yeah.
that country sensibility, because it's what I know, and I ain't changed.
That's what you're gonna have to. It's your shit. It's your show.
Right. So yeah, I'm from a small town in Georgia.
Wow. And like you said, you were raised by your grandmommy. And it's just like, I'm just backtracking real quick. Cause these are the things we never, cause get it, even on YouTube back then, we didn't know these things. We saw each other every day post, we got to see each other and then we were like, and the work was amazing and we watched each other, but we didn't really get to ask these kind of questions. So where'd you go to college?
I did. Everybody thinks I'm degreed down. Baby, no, I'm not.
Well, baby, you join. I gotta join the club with you then, baby, because
I'm just smart.
yes, Trav. Yes, Trav. Listen, Trav. My grandmother calls me a tycoon. She says, baby, she says, listen, I may have given you your financial endowment. She says, but baby, you have gone above and beyond anything I could have ever asked, thought, or expected. I'm like, honey, you have to when you love something.
Yeah, I mean, I did attend several colleges actually,
Yeah.
but I didn't feel, I didn't feel like it. I didn't feel like it was something that I wanted to do
Right.
or finish. Because granted, I can get through college all stress, but I just didn't feel like
Yeah.
it. And
Uh-oh, your sound went out. What happened?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
I don't know. Did the power go out a minute? Well,
No, don't
anyway,
say that.
but I do pretty well for myself sans a degree anyway. So I mean, they're for what they're for. And if you would like to get a degree, go ahead and get a degree.
Yeah.
If that's going to further what you want.
Yeah.
I don't think it will further me in my filmmaking or writing. So I'm good with what I am today.
Yeah. No, I learned that, degrees are for certain people. They're not for all people. And, I was in school, and it's kind of crazy because I was in school and, I loved animals. I was a biology major. I was good at that, but it wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. This is.
Yeah.
And for so long, I felt bad. I used to literally bust into tears when I would see my college and my high school classmates, and they had these degrees and they were this and that and the other. It made me feel bad about myself. And then I realized my grandmother would always tell me, baby, because I would feel like, because it was like with school being medically withdrawn because of the mental illness, I felt like I got left behind.
Mhm.
I felt like, and me, I was always an intelligent person. So I felt like you needed that to prove it. And then my grandmother would say to me, baby, you don't have anything to prove. You don't need a degree. And the craziest thing is, in my organization, I'm the only one without a degree. Everyone that works with me, works for me, has a degree. And my grandmother says, and look at that. And she says, that's the way most millionaires are. They go out and hire the degrees to do the work that they need them to do as far as this, that, and the other. And she says, and that's a blessing. She says, because college isn't for everyone. And I was just holding on to it because it was something, it was a dream. I thought it would make me better.
I would feel some kind of way about that too, seeing people I know graduating degrees because of where I come from. A lot of us did not, and people in my family, a lot of them did not go on a secondary school,
Right.
postgraduate,
Mm-hmm.
anything like that. So everybody, I had a lot of pressure
Mm-hmm.
because I was very gifted.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, well, you're gonna be the first to go to college, you're gonna be the first to graduate, you're gonna be the first to this, first to that. Even in high school, I'm like, but I knew that I had to do something. So I went, I forced myself to go for like 2 years.
It wasn't for you.
I mean, I'm sure I can go back and finish that little 1 year, but I don't want to do that.
I was
to
gonna say, like, and you know what? My boyfriend always says this too, because he has degrees. When I met him, he didn't. He has degrees now. And he always says to me, don't neglect the years of homeschooling that you did. All the researching, all the learning, all the things you learned firsthand, all of those things. He said, because when you equate those next to a 4-year degree, how long you been doing this? And I say 20 years. He said, there's no degree they can give you for being good in your field, knowing what you know. And the crazy thing was, I was doing this and I was one of those people where I needed some fancy name to be attached to it. And that was because of the days of being in religion. It's got to have some fancy title to it. Never mind you just doing it. Because even when I was on YouTube back then, Trav, I hadn't had vocal training. But I had opera singers writing me from the Met saying, you're doing what we've learned to do in 4 years. You're doing it naturally. We had to study this and you're doing it naturally. And so I realized, like, no, like, it took me so long to realize, and it's so crazy because the word to describe my talent and what I do online, I'm not a social media influencer. I'm an intellectual entertainer. And it's like, and I had to think about, and I'm like, and I don't have not, and it's so crazy because, I've had people say to me in my life, oh, you're going to get honorary this, you're going to get an emeritus. Like I've had people that have said, oh no, honey, because what you know. And even when I knew that college wasn't for me, get this, my first year, I had, they give you advisors. My advisor was my biology professor, and his name was Dr. Smith. I'll never forget him. Like skinny, Caucasian, but very like flamboyant. He was married, had kids, everything. He just was flamboyant. He just was. No, he was. Exactly. So he said to me, I remember when I took a test, took an exam, and he was like, Holly, I want you to come to my office at this time. So I'm like, okay, Dr. Smith, I'll be there. I came, he tore up the exam that I took, and he made me sit in his office and take it again. And what he said, now mind you, you would think in a lecture hall of like 100 students, he wouldn't really notice things about you. But I did, because I was one of those people. I sat in the front seat, front row, me and my buddy at that time, he's a doctor now, his name is Dan Winkle. We sat, I was one, he was two. So he pulls me in the office and he says, I want to let you know something. He says, have you ever been tested for test anxiety? And I'm like, test anxiety, what's that? He's like, well, I watch you during exams. You go into extreme anxiety. You have test anxiety. I have to give you your exams from now on in a private setting. And I'm like, and then he says this to me. He says, college really isn't for you. And I look at him again like, do you know what I went through to get here? Do you know what the fuck I went through? I'm like, do you know what the fuck I went through to get here? So, but he says to me, and I'm going to tell you why it's not really the place for you. He says, you are a long-term learner. He said, college is a game. College, you memorize information from a textbook, from a lecture, to spit it onto an exam to get the highest mark that you can. He said, and then if you need to remember that information, you take another course and refresh yourself. He said, but you, everything that you learn to know forever. He said, you're a long-term learner. There is nothing that you learn that you forget. Mm-hmm. And he's right. Even the things in college, even the things in high school, I know them now. And he said, you learn them so that you can teach them to other people. You're naturally a professor. And it just like, he was fucking my head up. But now that I look back, look at what I do. It's not just, oh, look at the girl with the pretty hair. No, bitch, you better pay attention to what's coming out of this, or you're going to miss the whole you're going to miss the whole lesson. And I've gotten good at being able to teach you in under 60 seconds. I have 22,000 plus of those 60-second teaching videos. That's how
those were popular. Those people took to those videos and they were very entertaining, but there was always a nugget of wisdom in those.
Always.
Like they would stick with you, like what I said. What check are they cutting you?
You remember that was my fuck your haters challenge. Sweet.
That's stuck in my head. I think about it all the time, and I say it to certain people. They're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "You had to be there."
He said you had to be there.
You had to be there.
Let me see if I can remember. Sweetheart, your haters don't matter. Not for real. What check are they cutting you? Fuck them.
That's it.
That was it.
That's it.
That was it. And I wrote that. And that's the crazy thing. Like, I wrote that. Like,
that's
all
hilarious.
These things I wrote. And it's just so crazy because even now I look at it and I'm like, here I am no degree, one of the best journalists the world has ever seen. One of the absolute best. One of the absolute best. And it all works.
Oh,
The hair works, the voice works, the prettiness works, but one of the best journalists the world has ever seen. And literally, I think of Oprah all the time. She did not have a degree to do what she did. And that woman is the pinnacle, the quintessential journalist. Like, are you kidding? And the funny thing is, I look at other people that, you know, because now I have all these connections. So it's like, I look at people in Hollywood and this, that, and the other, and they're really using their journalism degrees. And then here I am, not a near a degree. And bitch, I got it in the bag. I got it in the bag. I like got it in the bag. And it's like, well, where did you go to school? Did you go to Northwestern? No. Where'd you go? Nowhere. Mm-mm. They've been telling me since I was a little boy, you have a gift to write, because when you write, we can hear you speaking. They always said that to me. When we read something of yours, we can hear you saying it out loud. You have the ability to give voice to your words. And then on top of that, God gives me a memorable voice too.
It is definitely that.
Right?
Very memorable.
Very memorable. It stays with you. It lingers.
Because I heard, like, I don't know if you remember this. I reached out to you many years ago because I was trying to do something with the same project that I took my short film from.
Okay.
Characters was, I don't want to say a house mother. She wasn't a house mother, but she had children. She was basically the Queen of Shade before you even became the Queen of Shade. So when I saw this, I was like, that's Miss Sherry, because that was her name. That's Miss Sherry, and I need Queen of Shade to play Miss Sherry in one little part.
Oh.
I still might do that.
Well, listen, I'm available, Trav. I would do it, Trav. I don't care where it is. As long as I get to wear my hair, you might not want my hair blonde. You might want it black.
Oh, anything. Because when you became the Queen of Shade, I had already written this.
Isn't it crazy?
And when it came, I was like, this is Miss Sherry. Y'all look. Because the people that read it, they were like, isn't this Miss Sherry?
I know people was looking at you like, no, that's the Queen of Shade. You're like, no, that's Miss Sherry. And they like, no, that's the Queen of Shade. Like,
right. I was like, wow, you're gonna play Miss Sherry one.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. I commit now. I commit now. Shit.
We'll do all the paperwork, all the everything to make sure that happens.
Oh my God. That is so freaking amazing. So I'm going to ask you, because I don't usually ask this, I'm not a nosy journalist, but I sense a certain peace and calm about you. And I'm going to ask, are you coupled? Are you coupled?
I am not coupled. You sense that. You sense that because I work for it every day.
Yeah.
So it's bound to come out.
Yeah.
It's my way. It's how I walk through life.
Yeah.
It's just like this all the time because I can't. I also have some traumatic things that I went through as well.
Yeah.
So now that's part of my life.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. I don't have I can't. But no, I'm not coupled.
But get this. I said that to my grandmother this morning. Now, mind you, because I work so hard, like people need to understand this. Because we work so hard, sometimes we neglect ourselves. So I don't always eat every day. I don't, because I'm working and I don't want to have to focus on eating while I'm bringing to birth or birthing a brainchild. So my grandmother this morning, I get up and I give her coffee, and she likes like maybe a blueberry muffin or something in the morning. So I warm that, I make the coffee and I hand it to her. She's sleeping. So because she has her own, like, it's so crazy. She went to school. She has a master's degree in education. She was a teacher for 40 years. But she has this thing that she's working on now. She's writing books and she's like doing affirmations and just different things that she's working on. So she sleeps late like I do too. We get up late and we don't. And it's so funny because our neighbors are like, these bitches never leave, but they rent is always paid. They always got gas money. Like you always see them going to the store. They go to the store every day if they have to. You don't see them bringing in a bunch of stuff. They go get food just for the day. Like that's how we live, and we're always home. So this morning she was like, did you eat? Like coming out of her sleep. She was a little aggressive. So she's like, did you eat? And I'm like, not yet. And I walk upstairs. So she calls me back and and it was so crazy because she's yelling. And I don't like when anybody yells at me. And I said that to her. I said, can you stop yelling at me? She's like, I don't mean to yell at you. I said, but I'm a grown man. Don't yell at me. It makes me feel a type of way. And I have to say that because I have post-traumatic stress disorder and acute anxiety disorder with bipolar 1. So I have to say that because it'll trigger my anxiety. And then I can't have my whole day thrown off, especially when I got to come have these kind of conversations. So I'm talking to her and I'm like, I need you to talk to me nice. And she's like, and she said to me, she knows that. So she was like, it wasn't that I was trying to yell. She's like, I know you need everybody to talk to you in a inside voice. But I do. I need everybody around me to talk that way. Don't raise your voice around me.
Ever do that to me.
Right? Don't raise your voice around me.
I'm done. We can't communicate.
Right. Like, don't.
That's a boundary of mine. Don't ever raise your voice.
Yeah, don't raise your voice. No, I'm that way.
Ever.
And it's so lovely too, because here we go again. I'm gloating. My boyfriend speaks to me so nice. So nice. Yeah. But you know what too, though? I love the fact, and I want people to see this. I want people to illustrate. I want to illustrate here that, for 10 years, I was by myself. I was happy. I was doing what I love to do, such as yourself. I want people to understand that because you're not coupled, I don't want to ever send that message out. You're not lacking something. You're not missing something. I was prepared to go to my grave that way. It's just so happened that I knew the man for 20 years and it happened the way that it did. It was ordained to be that way. I never thought I'd be coupled, but when I wasn't coupled, I was very fine and all right with myself. And we need to see more people like you. We need that. We need more of that illustration, because I always say to people, you can't be full of somebody else. You have to be full of you. You have to be always. You
don't know, you find someone or say yes to the person you attracted.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that he or she is the right one. That fits your lifestyle and fits how you are as a person. Because 42, I'm 42.
Yeah.
I don't foresee myself changing too much more.
Exactly.
I am right now. I am very capable of compromise. I'm capable, but to an extent, because I'm not going against who I am, core values for nobody.
No.
So I just know yourself. Get to the core of yourself and know yourself, because I don't think the right person, you will attract the right person. I'm attracting the right person. He has to know how to do it.
Yeah.
All right. It's gonna have to know.
No, but you're right. But you're right. You're right. You're absolutely
I am who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I am who I am. And you don't have to know that when it comes along.
Yeah.
There are certain things that I'm not gonna ever live. Ever.
Yeah.
That's my core value.
Yeah. No, my boyfriend is the same way. Like, it's so funny because I said when I did my video talking about the 10 years of celibacy, which I didn't break yet. I won't see him until September, the end of September.
Oh, that's gonna be a time.
my mama said, don't you come back here with no crutches. My mama said, don't you come back here with no crutches. Don't you come back here with no crutches.
That's gonna be a time. I'm gonna pray for y'all. Okay. Pray for both of you all.
But and you know what it is too? It's so crazy because he asked me the other day, he said, why do you do this to me? How do you get to me like this? How do you make me desire so much? And I'm like, because you love my mind first. just as I love yours. Yeah, we're beautiful men, but you love my mind. You've had 20 years of getting to know my mind. And then you saw me come into my own, just as I saw you come into your own. I became more attractive to you, my mind. And it's so crazy because me and I call him Bay, we don't do too much compromising. We do a lot of living with. This is who you are. And at 40, like, Wendy Williams used to say this, when you are a person of a particular age, you don't need no long courtship. Like you know what you want, you know what you're gonna tolerate, you know what you don't. Like, yeah, there is no compromising. We discuss life. And what I love about him, listen to this, I am a workaholic. Absolutely. Like, there's times where if I don't work, I feel like I'm going crazy. So what I love about him is he'll speak of happy times, families, creating. And I'm like, I can't afford to take off. I'm a late bloomer. I started this too late. Like I'm in my 40s now. It's just taking off. 20 years in, it's just taking off. I can't take off. He said, babe, if we decide to have children, if we decide to do anything, they will be traveling with us. The house will be going everywhere we are. There will be time and love, and you will be able to have your career and your lifestyle wherever you choose to be. And that's what he does for me. Because for me, it was just work, die. Like, that's what it was. Like, work, die. He's like, no, ambiance. He talks about babies. I'm like, I don't want no babies. Not no little babies. He said, well, listen here. I know you work a lot. He said, my lifestyle, because he's in real estate and does all of that stuff. And he's a psychologist and all of that. So he does all of that. So he's like, my lifestyle will allow me to be able to sit still and raise some children. And I said, oh, great. They're not going to like me. They're going to be like, you were never there, Mom. You were never there. He said, oh, no. He said, oh, no, we will not have that. He said, because we will all go where you are. We will all travel together. We will be able to have wherever you go to work, where there will be no disrespect to you because you will be there. And it made me think, Trav. I was like, and that's what he does. He makes me think. That's the one thing I love. He makes me think in a way I didn't think, because I must admit, being this queen, I had to think about me and how to do this and how to stay healthy doing this. I didn't too much think about fun. Fun? What's that? This bitch ain't had fun in years. So yes,
that is why.
Yeah.
As who we are, we need to choose wisely.
Yeah.
Like, we need to choose for our.
Yeah.
Like, he said that he would travel with the family. That's a destiny situation. Like, my destiny is to travel and be the queen of the world. And
yeah,
I have to be with someone who is willing,
yeah,
and able to travel with us.
Yeah.
I can't be away for 6 months and pass. No, we're going together.
We're going together. And it just made me think. And I just was like, and for a moment, I said to him, don't do that to me. And he was like, what? I said, I just felt overwhelming joy and happiness because I could see it. He said, and you don't want me to do that to you? And then he does it again. And I'm like, don't do that. And he's like, yes, we have to do that. He always tells me, you have earned the right to be happy. You've earned the right. We're not lazy out here. We're not laying on our ass looking for somebody to take care of us. We work. And see, that's the thing about artists and creatives. That's what I need all of these people the future that will watch this video. I need them to understand, the creatives, we are worth our weight in gold. We are valuable. Without us, all these businesses cease to exist. And what I've learned too, just in speaking about that, is that it doesn't always have to look the way we planned it to look. Because that was my thing too. It needed to look a certain way. It needed to be a certain way. He told me, he said, you want to be a veterinarian, right? I said, yeah. He said, oh, but he said, oh, that's right. You wanted the white coat and, the hamsters coming in and the goats and the this and the that. He said, you're still a veterinarian and you take care of the most primal beings on this planet, us. He said, you're still a doctor. You just upset because you don't have a white coat. He said, let that go.
One, you can go get one and put your name on it.
Right, you can do whatever. But see, Trav, what you just said, that's how my grandma may think. That's how people don't realize you can do that.
To say, look,
right there, like you can do that.
They just say you have credentials, whatever.
Listen.
Whatever.
Tell them I'm not that kind of doctor. I'm a doctor, but I'm not that kind of doctor.
Not that.
No, I'm not that kind of doctor. Yeah, I'll get you together, but I'm not that type of doctor.
Right.
And if I treat you, you might live longer. If I treat you, you might live longer. You might learn how to get rid of people that ain't doing you right. And
get out my next movie. You're in my next movie. You're onto the plot. You're onto the plot of my next.
Well, listen. Let me get out of your movie. Let me get out of your movie. But tell me, okay, this has been great. Tell me, give me 3 words that inspire and empower you.
Love. Safety.
Yeah, safety.
And Maya
Angelou. Do you know that woman had something like over 36 honorary doctorates? Crazy. And she started as a dancer.
Did you know she was a sex worker?
Right?
She has a very, very storyline. And that's the one I love what she did, but it's her background that makes me inspired the most.
Yeah.
She from a lot and she did a lot and she bet on herself a lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm here for it too. I tell people all the time, it's not my blue check, it's not my name, it's not my followers that are going to make you respect me. It's my story. It's my story that's going to make you respect me. It's my story that's going to make you look at me differently and have that reverence. It's like, wow, you've been through a lot. You've done a lot. All right, Trav, tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
They can find me at Trav the Wordsmith.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds as it spells. Trav the Wordsmith on Instagram. And if you want to come on Twitter, I'm barely there, but it's Trav_Wordsmith. My Facebook, don't worry about it. Coming in November on my birthday, my website is going to relaunch, TravisAScott.com. We'll be having like more personal things, like I'm going through the pre-production of my next film. So it'll be the behind the scenes of all of that stuff. So that's coming in November on my birthday.
Yeah.
That's about it. You could check out Phantoms, the short film.
Yes.
On Amazon.
Yeah.
Movie.
Yeah.
Like it. It's real dramatic. I love that dramatics. That's just right up my alley.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'm working on some other things for next year. So be on the lookout.
I'm so excited. Thank you for coming and gracing me with your presence and allowing us to catch up and have a phenomenal conversation.
Pleasure. Been a pleasure. We've known each other for so long. And
so long.
Your viewers, I know her.
Yeah.
Oh, and I watch a lot of your videos. My favorite interview was this cutie patootie. What is his name? He's so adorable, but he got a lot of meat. What is his name? He works.
Who got a lot of meat?
Red Leon. Is that his name? Red Leon?
Yeah, Leon Red.
Leon Red. He was
yeah.
so adorable. I watched that video a couple times.
Let me tell you something. I'm obsessed with that boy.
It's so adorable to me. Like, I want to feed him some biscuits and gravy so bad.
Yeah.
I like to cook.
Yeah, he is.
Like, I want to make biscuits and gravy for this child.
He has a beautiful name, too. He told me in the interview, his real name is Barissa Sia.
Say that one more time.
Barissa Sia. Isn't that different? Never heard that name before ever again in life. He's unique.
He's so sweet. He has an innocence
Yeah,
about him that makes me laugh.
yeah. He's cool. He's so cool. I love him. I tell him all the time. I'm always sending him messages. I love you. I love you.
He's so sweet. All that meat. That little boy got all that meat. But okay.
He's that little boy got all that meat.
I also interviewed one of my good friends, Calvin.
Oh, okay. Which one? Calvin what?
Calvin. What is Calvin's last name? White guy.
Oh, wait. Calvin. He was on YouTube too. Caucasian Calvin? Yes. Okay. I met him on YouTube years ago. And he was the one that gave me the inside information about how to have your own record label because he had one.
I saw y'all's video.
Yeah.
That's my friend Calvin. Like I visited him.
Yeah. San Francisco.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's really, really nice. He's a great guy.
Calvin
Just as you saw him on that's exactly how he is. He's so sweet.
Yeah, Calvin is amazing. Calvin is, look at that. But and I just recently I got interviewed by Triple G, which was Garland Guidry.
Oh my God, that's my boo.
Exactly. So
we were connected on YouTube as well.
Yeah, so she interviewed me for her platform.
I have to go watch.
2 weeks ago, I think. I'll send it to you.
Thank you, because I love her.
Yeah, I love her so much.
All started out at the same time.
This thing takes time. There are levels to this shit.
There are
levels to this shit. Okay, don't go away. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard the vocal stylings of Trav, the Wordsmith. Check out his short film, Phantom, on Amazon Prime. Say bye, but don't go anywhere.
Bye.
So did you enjoy? I hope you did. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and don't forget to cash at me at the Queen of Shade. I am your favorite content creator, right? Right. You want to see more of this content, right? Right. Cash at me. I love you. Mwah.
I've got my black stilettos on. Don't you make me take them off. I'm assuming first position. Gonna show you I'm a boss. I've been given 60 seconds just to put